So today I'm going to teach you how to collapse a charge. I know that sounds really exciting, and we're going to collapse a charge on a situation. In a future video, I'll do it on collapsing a charge on a person, because when it comes down to it, that's so important, right? Because people are what really we think get in our way. So before I start this, let me go ahead and give it a little preface. I have been an obsessive researcher, writer of all the science and all the spirit and all the metaphysical laws of the universe and of intention. Like the OG manifestation coach. Before anyone else was talking about manifestation, I was. So, and I'm not saying that to toot my own horn. I'm just telling you that I know it inside and out. And I've written 23, 25 books about it. But here's the thing. What I have discovered, especially in the last 10 years or so of coaching, under the umbrella of manifestation coach, even though I may say business coach or real estate coach, I'm a manifestation coach. But here's the thing. Out of all the clients that I've had and all the trainings that I've done, all the workshops I've held, people who read my books and come to me, probably only about 10% can pick up a book or have a session or two and just go to town. I want you to think about that. It's because what gets in our way keeps us, prevents us from doing the process. Okay? Now that's not to say that you can't. And most all my books are free on Amazon in the Kindle version. My new one is not going to be right away because it's a big book and it's really expanded, and my practice has evolved as well as my manifestation process. So it's not going to be free right away on Kindle, but I will do some sort of giveaway, I guarantee you. But that being said, that's a whole other topic. What I want you to understand is that manifestation is a process. But if it's a scientifically, spiritually, metaphysically supported process, like they all say the same thing. I've been studying Madame Blavatsky, and she was a Roman esoteric teacher in Russia, and I have read her stuff before, but in the 1800s, and people wrote her off as a nutcase. Like she's talking about going into a different dimension and, going into crack of consciousness. People wrote her off as a nutcase. Like they thought she was faking it when she would say, I downloaded this. Now science proves. And now she's had a comeback. Not a big comeback, because her books are very, very Russian. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but they're very thick. I mean, in America, we're like, just tell me the stuff, just tell me the stuff. But they're very, very heady, very thought. You have to think. You can't just read it and be like, oh yeah, I get that. Anyway, her name is Helena Blavatsky. It's BLH something, but you can look her up. In the 1800s. All right. But it's all saying the same thing. That's the point. It's all saying the same thing. So then, what do we do? What is going on? Why is it so hard to manifest? And it's because we let the things in our day-to-day lives get to us. So, I'm trying to fight a sneeze right now. I might sneeze. I don't want to edit the video, so I'm not going to sneeze. I'm really lazy when it comes to editing videos. Anyway, so we have to look at what's going on. And collapsing charges is probably right up there in my book with EFT. They both have a really important role in my coaching. EFT is a way to self-soothe and express, get stuff out of you and pull it up, especially when I'm guiding you through it. But collapsing charges is intellectual, and you bring it down to your heart. So I believe in some cases it can even be longer term than EFT. And I learned this from a psychologist whose name is Dr. I call him Dr. Martini, but his name is Dr. John D. Martini. Anyway, so if you hear me say Dr. Martini, I mean D. Martini, but I always forget the D, not on purpose. Anyway, I have seen him do it on someone who just lost a child. I mean, what? So it's very, very powerful, and it's very effective, and I'm going to teach you how to do one on a situation. And then I'm going to explain to you why it works so that I can really get you on board. So if you have something to write with, you can jot it down. I'm going to use an example. Hopefully my daughter won't mind if I use an example of something that just happened 2 days ago. Her dog, they live out in the country on a farmland, and there's no fences between neighbors, and her dog was viciously attacked by a neighbor dog who she's always been around, and it's never been a problem. So, and I mean viciously, like 24-hour emergency vet surgery, big deal, right? Okay, so here's what you do. You take your situation that we're going to collapse a charge on. So think of something. And then I asked her, tell me the drawbacks. Tell me 10 drawbacks. Now, in real practice, we would do 25 or 50. But I'm just giving you a shorthand version here. And when I say give me 10, you have to come up with them for each one. The first are going to be easy. The inconvenience, the cost, the fear, the anxiety, the dog suffering. I mean, so you could just rattle those out easily. Okay, cool. Now tell me 10 benefits of those 10 drawbacks. What? That's where stuff gets real and hard. What are the benefits of those drawbacks? You have to really think about it. I'm gonna give you one example for each of these as we go. So one of the drawbacks is it was super traumatic for the kids to see, right? Super traumatic. Because the kids were playing in a pool, and that was just like, I don't know, a couple yards away from them. So trauma for the kids was a drawback. What's a benefit of that drawback? Right? And this gets tricky. And so I would say, I'm just going to arbitrarily say something. Maybe one of the benefits of that drawback is the trauma would have been a lot worse if it was one of the kids. Because remember, there's no fence. The kids play back there all the time. Okay? Are you following me? Then you've got to come up with 10 drawbacks of the incident itself. And again, I'm sure my daughter is like, what? Drawbacks of my dog getting attacked and me having to lose a whole night's sleep and blah, 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 blah. But you have to dig in this stuff. And I'm going to explain why it works, which will hopefully make you want to do it. And you know, we have these for money, for fear of cold calling, for people that bug you. You can collapse charges around anything. But with this situation, what's one of the 10 benefits of it happening? At first, your mind, like, think about losing a child or a loved one. Your mind is like, there's nothing good. No. But we can come up with benefits. We can come up with benefits that it could have been a lot worse. That the vet bill was, only around $1,000. That she survived. That it wasn't one of the kids. But I want to dig deeper. And this is what Dr. Martini says. You got to dig deeper into it. And, and I've studied his work, like, endlessly and applied it probably about, I don't know, maybe about 200 times so far with clients and myself and my family. So I'm getting pretty good at it. But in this example, it has to go even deeper than that. I don't want to just hear it can be worse, it could be worse, thank God the kids are okay. I want to go deeper. What benefit did it provide my daughter? And this is a real stretch. But when you look at the situation that you don't like, that you have a charge around, did it help you grow? She's a therapist. Is it going to make her a better therapist? She's a mother. Is it going to make her a better mother? Is it making her stronger? I mean, talk about being trauma informed, right? Which she is, but now when she has clients who have trauma issues, even now she might be just a little bit better at it. Now, I'm going to end the charge that we're doing right there and explain why it works. But in real practice, if we were doing this together, we would go deeper into the gratitude. But here's why it works. There is, back in the Hermetic laws, which is one of the main laws of the universe, called the law of polarity. And the law of polarity tells us that everything is on the same spectrum, just different ends of it. So if we didn't have hot, we wouldn't know cold. If we didn't have up, we wouldn't know down. If we didn't judge good, we wouldn't have bad. And if you think about it, everything in your life that you don't like, you judge as bad. So the whole purpose with collapsing a charge is to find the good in it, to find the hidden benefits of it. Because it is an absolute fact, an undeniable scientific fact, that everything has its opposite. Everything. So if you are judging a situation, a person, a behavior as bad, guaranteed there are goods to it. There are good things. You know, and I can use this with helping a person overcome a habit. Like if you get up every night and you're eating ice cream and you say you don't want to, you're getting something good out of that. It's not a subconscious, self-limiting belief that you need to eradicate. You just need to acknowledge the good that you're getting out of it and compare it to the bad that you're getting out of it. And then we go deeper into that work. So with the law of polarity, what we're doing with these charges is we're finding the balance, that equilibrium. So here's a situation, this circumstance, it was bad, it was horrible, it was terrible. Let's pull out the good that came out of it. And then we go from terrible to just not great, and from these benefits to okay. And now we're at equilibrium. When we can get to equilibrium, that's when we're able to sink into our heart and to recognize that every person, every situation, every circumstance, every event has both blessings and curses, and that really they wipe each other out, and that there is balance in the world, in the universe, in your life. And guess what? I started this talking about manifestation. And it's only possible to manifest from a place of balance. That is the key. If you are super jazzed about, something you're going to create, or, oh yes, I'm super excited, that's too much of a charge. Because when you're that excited, something's going to come along and kind of knock the wind out of your sails. Ever notice how that happens? That's because the universe is always striving to keep us balanced. And I'm not saying don't get excited. I'm not saying, don't be happy and joyful. But there's a big difference between a dopamine rush of, oh, I'm so excited I'm getting that, versus I'm very, very grateful. And that gratitude, that's balance, that's equilibrium. And that's the part that I think most people mess up on. Two parts. Not being able to see a charge and collapse it into balance, and not coming at their intentions from a place of gratitude. So people are either charged up and can't manifest because their energy field is all, and the cortisol's in their body, and they're just like, that person was wrong, or that situation was wrong, I'm a victim. No. But when they can find balance in that, and then recognize the universe is just really perfect, and for every good thing there's going to be something that's not so good, but we don't really have to mess around with that. If we can just find balance in everything, then we can be grateful. And grateful, to me, gratitude feels a lot better than the occasional dopamine rush, which I used to always chase. And I still do from time to time. If I get something on Amazon, I'm like, ooh, that's going to be fun, I can't wait to get it. Or I buy a new device, or I learn something new. Everyone, the human being loves dopamine. It's very addictive. But I also understand when I get a dopamine rush that I need to calm myself down and get back into gratitude. Because gratitude is the end-all be-all for manifestation success. So hopefully you found this helpful. I would love to hear more from you. Check out the links below. If you would love to have a session with me, we can do a scan. I'm having a summer special right now. And you guys, very low price. Like, I don't know, $111 for a straight up scan, and you get a full report, you get corrective optimization, you get toning. It's a no-brainer. or you can have an actual session with me where we do collapsing charges and a scan. It's a no-brainer. This is usually 4 times more expensive. So hopefully you'll take advantage of it, because I am off for another month of summer school. So I'm like, I might as well be helping people. And again, I'm doing it for a song and dance. So